and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello, it's Thursday night. It is time for the Geek News Now Cantina Happy Hour. Let's see, where there's all kinds of scum and villainy, and we must be cautious.
I'll be careful. You'll be dead!
I am David. I am your host as we walk through this hour of Star Wars stuff. With me as always is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good. How's everybody out there?
It looks like William changed his thing. What's up? Hey guys, and then hey guys, there. Now he's back to the Geek Gauntlet. Hi, William.
William always changing it up.
Also,
you're hot, then you're cold.
Cam and Focus. How are you, Cam?
Exhausted. I mean, I'm getting my house ready to accommodate a family of 6 whose home was destroyed in Hurricane Ian. So that's been the last couple of weeks for me. So to everybody out there who was looking forward to my Everything Everywhere All at Once Cam and Focus video, I am so sorry. Just haven't had the time. It is coming. By God, it's coming.
That's all. It's coming. Don't worry. Calm down.
Hold your horses.
Also with us tonight, special guest, John Biscardi from the Geek and I podcast, a podcast here on the Geek News Now Network. How are you, John?
I'm doing good.
You got a little lag there, or was that just me? Okay. Anyway, what's up? What you been doing? You got any new podcasts coming out?
Well, I'm spending the weekend at the Retro Expo, so I'm prepared for that, loading up the gear and gonna make the trek on down to Plano.
We will see you down there because I will be there myself. So we'll have to link up. Okay, all that being said, let's talk Andor. Let's discuss Andor. Now, before we get into this week's episode, Andor, I was reading something the other day, and Andor right now, I think, is the highest rated what's a good word? Star Wars thing. I mean, if you go look at Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, it's insane. And it's not just critic acclaimed, it is also audience acclaimed. So the audience is really, really getting into this show, and I think this is something that has kind of surprised everyone.
The audience that is watching. Unfortunately, right. the ratings aren't that high.
Oh, okay. So the audience that is watching is really, really liking this, and if you haven't been watching, go watch it because it is amazing.
I think it would be great once all of them are out and you can actually binge
the whole thing
straight through.
A long binge.
Well, you figure people binge Cobra Kai with 10 episodes, so what's another 2 hours?
Well, I mean, I almost feel like the best way to experience the show is in like trilogy increments.
I would say yes, but you know what? Honestly, I've really gotten into this, and it really kind of started with WandaVision, but I really like the idea of one a week. I just like the idea of having something to look forward to, something to say, okay, Monday nights we're doing MCU Mondays, and we're doing the show that came on Wednesday night. So I have enjoyed the. I mean, if Andor had released all 12 episodes all at once, we wouldn't have 12 episodes of Andor. We would have like one big episode covering everything. And
yeah, it's great. The once a week release is great for us content creators because it's easier for us to
keep up with it,
make more content and not try to binge it. And I mean, I guess you still could do it episode by episode, but it would be.
By the time you
I
got
don't think it would
12,
be
it'd
the
be
same
stale.
because everybody's always watched it or already watched it, and therefore they already know what's going on. I mean, by the end of it, so nothing wrong with binging because I love binging. I do it all the time. I'll sit and binge a show in a whole weekend because I have no life outside of work. So
The only time I ever binge TV shows is if I've seen them all in their entirety already. So, like, I can sit down and watch The Simpsons and Big Bang Theory and The Shield and what's that one we watched with Chris? Boston Legal.
mm,
So, yes, there's a few, but anyway,
Well, there are a couple of shows that you need to binge watch because they're just that good. Like
24.
Yellowstone. We binged 4 seasons of Yellowstone, and once season 4 was over, it's now once a week with season 5, and I don't know what we're gonna do to go from week to week. It's gonna drive us nuts because that show is just amaze balls.
Yes.
I haven't been able to watch Yellowstone. I've watched 1883 because I have access to Paramount, but you can't watch Yellowstone on Paramount, which makes no sense to me whatsoever.
That's odd.
Yeah, so I've watched 1883, but not Yellowstone.
So let's talk about Andor. What is Cassian Andor getting up to this week?
Plans, and more plans.
This episode, I watched it twice, and I don't know. There's just something about it, and maybe it's the way that they're putting the episodes together. It was just, to me, and again, a lot of talking in this one, but it was just so intense and so just on the nose. I mean, you started off with the Bix, and she's being tortured, and this really just goes to show not only the lengths that the Empire is going to. I mean, you kind of saw it in the movies, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, it wasn't like this. And then you see them torture, and she even said, I can tell you all the answers you want to, and you're still not going to believe me, and you're still going to make me do this. Yeah, pretty much. And it was like, holy smokes.
Now, what was it that they were torturing her with? Was it? It was like the death cries of some alien race.
It was the death cries of the children of an alien race.
The Desanites.
Yeah.
They're a sentient creature, I guess, or I don't know if they're creatures or humans or what they are. They didn't really go into it, but yeah, they evidently massacred them and
the guys
recorded them.
Yeah. Well, the guys on the listening stage, they said something about them listening to it as they were being massacred, and they ended up on a crawl space underneath the main bridge, just basically going crazy.
Yeah, so now they use that as a torture tool.
He said they modified it down to where it's just the children, which is even worse, apparently.
So my guess is that it has some kind of crazy, profound psychological effect on people.
I guess.
Seems that way.
I guess.
How do you spell it?
I watched it with subtitles. I think it's like
Dizonites. It's the Dizon Frey in the Outer Rim. It was an Imperial fueling station, which I guess these Senate beings didn't appreciate the Imperials there. So I don't know if they were attacking them or what they. It kind of when they started talking about it, and I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it, but it kind of reminded me. I thought of a Rebels episode. I thought it was a fueling station or refueling station, but I'm not quite sure.
That was those cat things that couldn't come out in the sunlight, right?
No, this was in space.
Or was it? Okay.
Well, was it?
I don't know if that was the whales or the Purgle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be the Lightspeed whales.
Yeah. Anyways, it kind of I don't think they were referring to that episode, but it reminded me of that episode.
I'm just waiting for them to bust out Borgullet.
Well,
I'm glad
Maybe
they
that's
did.
who they were talking about, but evidently not. But
That was the least favorite thing about Rogue One was Borgullet.
Borgullet.
Yeah.
Borgullets will know the truth.
lies.
Every day, more lies.
These are pets, of course.
Nah, that's Wrath of Khan. I just
Oh, sorry, wrong.
I actually watched that yesterday.
Wrong movie.
Wrath of Khan. God, sorry, wrong franchise. My bad. So we go into this torture thing. She comes out of it. She's a shell of herself. But we find out too that it's not her business partner, but the guy she was borrowing the radio from. He had been tortured as well, and the doctor guy was like, "I want to hang him to make an example." I'm like, "Holy smokes! You guys are really going nuts." This is like taking it to all kinds of a next level as far as Star Wars goes. Again, reiterating that this is an adult Star Wars. This isn't something that the kids are not going to enjoy this one. There's a lot of talking in it. There's a lot of story building and world building and everything else, but there's also a lot of stuff in it to where it's like, oh, that's not a kid's show. So
yeah, they kind of touched on that a bit in the Kenobi series, because you had Vader snapping that kid's neck, you had Vader dragging Obi-Wan through the hot oil. Oh geez, what else was it? I've all kinds of stuff, but
I need to go back and rewatch Obi-Wan, just because I enjoyed that one. I need to binge that one. I'll binge Obi-Wan.
Well, it's only like 30 minutes long.
So anyway,
well, to 37, you have to count the credits.
Yes. So anyway, next we get back to Andor. He's on the prison planet, and it took me 2 or 3 times to kind of get where they were going with the prison thing, and when they were talking about not the shifts, but like the days left. I forgot what they called it. What was it referred to as?
Shifts. You have X amount of shifts left.
Shifts, but they were talking about, oh no, nobody's going home because they keep adding days to they're not subtracting days, they're adding days to your numbers and all this other stuff. Something about I don't remember exactly. But they were talking about it in the Senate too with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, I didn't understand that scene. I mean, I understood what she was saying, but then you could hear people in the background, different senators, I assume. But what was the deal with all the lights shutting off?
To show the senators that were leaving the meeting. I think the purpose of that scene was less about what she was talking about and more to kind of hammer home the idea of how divided the Senate is. Because whenever I watch these shows, the first time I watched the episodes, I watched them with subtitles on, and it showed some senators were supporting her and some senators were booing her and leaving. So I think that was more meant to show you kind of the division of the politics of the galaxy.
And two, when she was talking and the lights were going off every once in a while, and you could see and you could hear them yelling, long live Palpatine, and all this other stuff, and you could see this despondent look on her face, like I'm talking, but nobody's listening. I mean, that was that was the title of the episode, but it was also, if you'll notice, in every scenario that you went to, nobody was listening to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even as far as when Mon Mothma was with her cousin, and we'll get to this in a minute, but she was telling her, hey, go run around, be a spoiled rich kid for a little while, and she was like, no, the rebellion comes first. I gotta take care of the rebellion. So anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Just calm down there, David. So yeah, and again with Cassian was in his cell, and he's asking Andy. He's like, how many guards are on shift? We all they got to do is turn on the lights. All they do is turn on and off the lights, and that's all they need to do from us. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares what we're talking about. Nobody cares what we're saying. Nobody's. I think he even yelled it. Nobody's listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in the same token, they were talking about that because the prisoners are communicating, they're doing their sign language thing across the ways, and level two. Now, see, that initially confused me. I'm like, what are they talking about? Level 2? I have no idea, no clue. And until, in fact, they even explained it later on when the doctor was there, when the old guy had his stroke and everything. Which, anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. But the whole thing with level 2, as far as what's going on level 2. Now, this is the beginnings of. This is going to be the beginnings of the escape, I think. This is going to be where finally he's got enough people to where it's like, okay, what was that scene in A Bug's Life where it's like they threw the seed at him and it's like, look, if you throw one seed at me, it doesn't do anything. But if you throw 1,000 seeds at me, it's going to do a lot. And he's like, okay, how many guards on each level? No more than 12. No more than 12. And he's looking at it going, okay, how many of us are in a room? 49 guys, right? I think 49, 50.
Mm-hmm.
49.
Yeah, they outnumber them, basically. What was the run the thing they did for Area 51? They can't stop all of us.
Yeah.
Yep, and that turned out so well.
Yes. How many people showed up? Did you go, Cam? I know you went.
I was there in spirit. Yeah, I joined all two of them out there.
Were there in spirit. So anyway, well, the whole prison sequence, because then the old guy with only 40 shifts left, he strokes out. The doctor comes. The doctor says nothing more I can do, and basically a doctor is it a doctor assisted suicide, or is that just a?
Well, I mean, it's euthanasia.
Yeah, it's just letting him go quickly and quietly. Without a lot of
I feel like somewhere along the line a waiver was skipped over.
Yeah, they called Dr. Kevorkian in on him. So
now,
for those of you that don't get that reference, go look it up.
Now, what was Andor doing in the bathroom?
Yeah, he was filing away at a pipe.
He left, and then broke the door the wall open, and is he sawing through water pipes that's going to flood and short circuit the system?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking electrical pipes.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm not sure that it. Well, I mean, the way that I think of water pipes, I think of them as being substantially bigger than that one was, and so, something like that. I was thinking electrical, but you might be right. I mean, a galaxy far, far away. I mean, who's to say their pipes have to match ours?
And who's to say they get a lot of water? Or it could be the food without flavor.
Although I will say this has been a series of firsts. This is the first time we've seen a shower in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, and this is the first time now we've seen a toilet.
Not quite. We saw one in Mandalorian.
What did we though, or did he just show him the door?
I think we actually saw it.
Did we? I have to go.
I think so.
We saw a kitchen sink in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, absolutely. And if you don't know that story, there in one of the scenes where one of the cruisers is blowing up, there is a kitchen sink, and that's because ILM came out and said we are throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, into this scene. So there you go, kitchen sink. There was a potato in Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go that way, but I can do old trivia stuff too.
Also, supposedly an ice cream machine too, with the guy who
in Empire, yeah.
Yeah. that was later
Supposedly,
retconned into being a
been
safe.
Confirmed. Space ice cream, made with blue milk.
Yeah.
So anyway, thoughts on the prison scene, just kind of in general, as a wide array. You had a lot happening.
Yeah, the sequences, especially with at first everybody trying to, confused about what happened in level 2 and all that. I mean, they did a really good job of building up, the tension, the mystery, because you see everybody's freaking out about it, but you don't really know why. And all they're saying is, "Oh, they're all dead. They're all dead." And then the reveal at the end of it, one guy was let out of, I think, level 4, but then brought back into level 2. So nobody's leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, what's Andy Serkis's character's name? Is it Kino?
Kino Loy.
Kino. Yeah. And I mean, what a shift in his character. He goes from being the authoritative, my word is law guy, to suddenly someone who's very scared, and you just see it plainly on his face. God, I love Andy Serkis. He is such a great actor.
Yeah.
Do you think it was scared, or do you think it was anger at the way they treated the old guy?
No.
It was.
I think it was scared, and I think it was anger. It might have been a combination of the two.
Well, because you also have to figure too. I'm sorry, Debbie. Just one more thing here. Yeah, you also got to figure too. I think it was the first episode that we saw him. He said, "I've only got like 214 shifts left,
right,
and then I'm a free man." And so to find out that, I mean, the number of shifts you have left doesn't matter. You're just gonna get recycled through the system. I mean, that would make anybody scared, I would think.
Well, he even said when Andor first got there, he was like, "Don't ever look at those days, because they don't ever seem to move." They've got it listed on their little tablet or whatever that's in their room. How many shifts do you have left? How many days do you have left? And he said, "Don't ever look at it, because it never goes down." And apparently now there is some truth to that, because it doesn't go down.
Yeah, I think the shift in his demeanor was one of the guy dying, Olaf, and then the realization that they're not leaving.
Yeah,
there is no freedom.
He's
and number 2, I think do you have YouTube on, Dave? Because I can hear echoes.
I do not have YouTube on.
I can hear echoes.
What do you hear?
Echoes.
Is it a stir of echoes?
Kevin Bacon!
6 degrees. We are now 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We made the list.
I think I can only hear them with my eyes wide shut.
No. Bad.
I didn't like that movie, no.
No Tom Cruise. My wife must have just turned the printer on. Or she must be getting ready to print something, because my printer just turned on at me. Now you might hear echoes, because my printer's going. Anyway. So I think too, more to the point, Andy told him right there at the first, I've only got 200 and however many shifts left. And he was looking at that like, oh my gosh, that's a light at the end of the tunnel. 200 shifts. That's only like 200 days. So that's, what, 6 months maybe.
Well,
And
it depends on how long the days are there.
yeah, well, he said 12-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not do the time thing again. We did this last week.
I mean, yeah, they could be 12-hour shifts, but for all you know, that planet could have 18-hour days.
Yeah. So anyway, well, that's still, 12-hour shifts and 18-hour days. Hang on, I gotta text my wife something.
That would make a barista cry on video. But I think the biggest mistake that they made was killing all those people on level 2. Because now
that's going to incite people to.
I'm either going to die here, or I'm going to try to escape and die anyway. So I'm going to try and get out of here, and I'm not going to worry about it because either way I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember who said this, but it's a fairly well-known quote. I think the most dangerous man is one with nothing to lose.
Exactly, and these people have nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them are on paper, honey. So, she's trying to print on cardstock, and there's paper in the printer, not cardstock. It's okay. We got it fixed. But it's going to go print again, so. Yeah, again, none of them have anything to lose other than their life.
Their life.
They were going to lose their life anyways. If they were going to sit there and die and trying to get things done. And that poor old guy, man, I knew he wasn't going to last because he was having issues right there at the first with putting everything together.
Yeah, he was sweating, he was panting, he disorientated. Yeah, classic signs of stroke or heart attack.
And then they, well, I guess they've been doing this the whole time, but the whole, table 1, you did the worst, so you get to go to the box this time. And it's like, cheese and crackers.
I still want to know what they're assembling because it's just the same machine over and over and over again. Like,
and they had 6 racks on one shift, and I was like, okay, what are you making?
I still say it's some kind of Death Star plans, or not plans, parts.
Why not parts to something for the ties?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with solar panels for the ties because everyone gets 2 or maybe 4, depending on if you're going to go inside and outside to hold the solar panels in there. And then how many TIE fighters you got?
Thousands upon thousands. So yes, I would say maybe Death Star, but I'm thinking the thing with the Death Star is Andor is going to fight the Death Star in Rogue One. So we don't need him. The story of Andor and the Death Star has already happened. We don't need another story with Andor and the Death Star.
But are they going for irony that he helped build the thing that kills him? Oh, spoiler alert.
That raises an interesting question because he told Jen, he said, your father's been an agent of the Imperial War Machine. And I'm looking at Andor going, what are you doing right now? I mean, really? What are you building? Do you even know? How do you know you're not
even if he's not, doing anything with the Death Star, he's still basically in the same position that Galen Erso was. I mean, he's being forced to do something against his will with the, proverbial gun to his head, so to speak.
Yeah. Actually, this would be, instead of the gun to the head, it would be feet to the floor. But he was even talking to that other fellow about escape stuff, because he was saying something to him about look, the elevators aren't charged, because he grabbed the bar, and
Mm-hmm.
you know they're watching. They're trying to figure out what they need to do. And he goes, "If we jumped him right now, we'd be okay." No, they just take us back up. No, 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 no. Once it's down, it's down. So they're plotting. They're planning. It's just a matter of getting it done.
And it's taken me 3 episodes to figure out where I know that voice that comes over the speakers. And it hit me when they were told to stand in line and floors will be activated at random. It sounds exactly like the voice from Tron, the Master
I
Control.
was just thinking that. Thank you.
It's
Maybe
been
they
too long since I've seen that movie, so.
Uh,
You didn't even see Tron 2?
I don't think so. I wasn't interested. The first one was
It's on
classic.
Disney. There you go. There's another one. It's on Disney.
yeah. I mean, if nothing else, if you ever have the chance, watch Tron Legacy. It's not like a masterpiece by any means, but man, what a visually stunning film.
Until the deep fakes.
Until the deepfakes, but otherwise.
So anyway, all right. Now I want to go look at Mon Mothma, because Mon Mothma was she was obviously rejected by the Senate. We've discussed this a little bit. She goes home. Her driver says, "Hey, your cousin's at home," and she's like, "Oh my gosh, what is she doing there?" And you don't know that. I didn't know that until her cousin showed up, and it was
Belle.
Vel. Yeah. Like, oh, she cleaned up nicely.
I was going to say, she looks good after she took a shower.
Yeah. We still kind of got an idea of what a putz her daughter is, because she says, "Look at what she bought me." Oh, and she goes, "Oh, your father will have something. My father will let me do anything I want." It's like, you're a jerk, and I hate you. You know what? They need to get divorced, and you go live with your daddy. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I'm thinking to myself, I really don't believe in child abuse as an acceptable form of punishment, but in this instance,
No, but you couldn't do that because you've got company. So you can't smack kids in front of company.
oh, jeez.
You just wait till you get her alone. You just wait. One day we'll be alone together. So anyway, and again we get a glimpse into her family life. Her husband still
Jerk.
is a jerk because he sits there, and I mean, and he wasn't even a jerk to her. It was, I mean, he made a couple of snide comments about her, but it was to Val. "Oh, did you find a husband yet? You're gonna have to find somebody who's a widower at this point because you're so old." It's like, dude.
Little does he realize.
Oh yeah. I wasn't looking for a husband. You sure weren't, were you? But anyway,
So, do you think the cousin's going to meet her demise at the hands of the driver? Do you think there's some kind of something going on where because she doesn't trust the driver, so
I'm gonna say something's gonna happen to her. Maybe not right away, but Mon Mothma is still very much on the fence about the whole rebellion thing.
Mhm.
She's looking for a way to finance it that's legal, in a sense, because she's trying to get loans made on her family's fortune and all this other stuff. And so she's trying to do this rebellion without being too rebellious. And I think this is going to be one of those things to where she will lose something will happen to her, and that's basically going to be what pushes Mon Mothma over the edge to say, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. We're gonna full on." And if you remember back to your legends, um, I believe Mon Mothma. They had stated in some of the earlier works that Mon Mothma actually wrote a declaration of rebellion to the Emperor and basically signed it, and John Hancocked it. Look here, I'm the one that started this kind of thing. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Yeah, bring back the legend stuff. That's cool. So just another poke at those. Oh, you got rid of the legends. No, they're still using them.
Yeah. Just don't bring back too much, because I don't particularly want to see a Rebel Alliance that was formed by Starkiller.
Why not?
Didn't really like his character, and I think that the idea of Vader having a legitimate apprentice rather than just a bunch of Inquisitors without the Emperor realizing is a little far-fetched.
Okay, fine. He will be at Retro Expo this weekend, though, right? We get to see him a little bit. Sam Witwer.
Yes.
All kinds of excited. All kinds.
I'm jealous.
You're the introvert, not me.
See, all you have to do to make Debbie happy is just give Sam Witwer a napkin to wipe his mouth with and send it to her in an envelope.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah.
Now you guys mentioned last week Anthony Daniels being in Lord of the Rings, so I went and I fished this out.
Found your laser disc, did you?
I found my disc, and I'm gonna have him sign it. It's a.
Oh, you're copying me.
It's a 2-set.
Wow.
That's how long this thing is.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, going to these conventions, these actors and celebrities, they love whenever you bring up obscure material that not a lot of people know that they were in. I went to Comic-Con or Central Florida Comic-Con. Geek News Now sent me there, and I met the voice actor Dana Snyder, who was the voice actor for Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that, but
is that the one that looks like Riker?
No. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was the fries and the shake and the
meatball.
Isn't one of them look like Riker? Is it the cup with the straw? He looks like Riker.
But I was talking to him and I told him that my favorite role of his was Todd from Code Monkeys. That's a very obscure show that not a lot of people that I've ever talked to have seen, but it's absolutely hilarious. The whole thing's animated like an 8-bit video game. I think you'd like it, but oh god, he was tickled by that.
Okay, let's get back to Star Wars. We've got the beginnings of the rebellion. We did not have what's his name, Stellan Skarsgård in this episode.
And we didn't see Saw.
Nope. Seesaw.
We did not see Saw.
Were you waiting the whole time to make that
You've
joke?
been waiting for that for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've been sitting on that pun for a while. That's quite the punishment.
To be honest, I don't think we'll see much more of Saw before the end of the series. I mean, he might come back maybe for the finale to come in and swoop in and do a bunch of killing and stuff, but I don't think we're going to see much more of him. I don't think his character is particularly important to the story going on here yet.
We also got a deeper look into the ISB as well. They did a lot of their, there was one, and I kind of wish they'd gone into a little more detail on this about the pilot that they caught, the rebel pilot. And they're holding him on a Star Destroyer, and we'll do a virtual interrogation. And then the next scene, it was like, okay, here's what we got out of him. It was like, I kind of would have liked to have seen that, but okay.
So let me ask you this: Do do they do like brainwashing? So if they have somebody, they can turn them into an Imperial? Because
I don't think so, because with this guy, they basically said we're gonna set it up and make it look like an accident, and we're gonna kill him. We're gonna make it look like it was a mechanical failure of some kind and drive him into traffic.
Yeah, I don't think the whole brainwashing thing came around until the First Order, as far as I know, because they were the ones who were like kidnapping kids and exposing them to all this propaganda and stuff to turn them into stormtroopers, basically. So
Mindless zombies. We just had Halloween. You can say mindless zombies.
yeah,
because
but
that would have been neat if that was Bodhi that they had, and they turned him to an Imperial, and now everybody thinks he's an Imperial pilot when he actually, gets to Rogue One.
I think he's been an Imperial pilot, but I think he's seen some of the bad stuff that's done, and he's like, I don't want any part of this anymore.
yes, because that's
the good side.
Because that's the best way to expand the character in Rogue One, whose only personality was being the pilot.
Yeah,
is to make him the pilot in something else.
Well, I mean, what does, just turning around and saying, I don't want to do this anymore, what makes him go crazy?
The Borgullet.
Well, he was nuts before the Borgullet.
Yeah, he was a little off kilter before then.
Well, the way that he was described in the movie was he was just an Imperial defector, so someone who left, and I don't know. I feel like to add more to it would kind of water down what already is. I mean, he's an Imperial pilot who defected to the rebellion. I feel like that's good enough. I don't think he needs the. So he was a rebel pilot, and then he got turned Imperial, and then he left the Empire to go back to the rebellion. I don't know.
I think that's why I don't want a whole lot more of Saw Gerrera in this, just because I think leaving it to the mystery of what happened to Saw, because I mean, when we saw him, what, last episode or episode before last, he was on his own 2 feet. He was healthy. He didn't need the breathing machine. But you see him in Rogue One, and it's like metal legs and breathing apparatus and bat crap crazy, because everybody's the whole world's against him, basically.
Yeah, very. I mean, he's paranoid now, but he's extremely paranoid by the time we get to Rogue One.
And I would like to see what causes that.
I would.
Maybe he shows up in the final battle of the series and gets blown away somehow.
Yeah, I mean, we got a long way to go.
The final battle of the series
of Andor.
I know. Is there going to be a final battle?
Oh, well, hopefully.
Maybe sometime in season 2.
We gotta appease Dave Vermillion. He's got to have his
pew pews.
All right, so I'm gonna predict this right now. The next 3 episodes are gonna be him planning to escape, and then it's gonna end on the cliffhanger of, okay, we're about to do it, and that's gonna be season 2. Season 2 is gonna be the escape.
I can see the season finale, because the season finale being them escaping and him going full on with the rebels. And the only reason I say that is because, and this episode particularly, they have really built him up, and I don't mean the writers have, but I mean everyone around him has really built him up to be, he is Mr. Super Rebel, and we have got to watch out for him, even though he's just really just a mercenary who happened to be working with the rebels at the time. But I mean, the lady from the ISB, everybody's looking for Andor. We got to find him. We got to find him because he's the link and the key to all of this. And he's just kind of a guy that was in the right place at the right time, kind of. So my thought is we have the jailbreak. He joins with the rebels. Andy Serkis probably dies in the break.
No.
I hate to say it, but
I've really enjoyed his character.
I really have.
I love Andy. I love anything he's been in it. Well, except for maybe Snoke, but.
Well, maybe they stick him in a bottle and he comes back as Snoke.
Well, I mean,
it would be really bad as if he dies in the jailbreak and he gets all scarred up and he looks like Snoke before he dies. Like, oh, that's just awful.
Yeah, well, I'm just waiting for all the different storylines to really come together because as it is right now, I mean, you have what's going on with Mon Mothma. I mean, yeah, you have this little connection of Vel being her cousin and whatnot, but I mean, other than that, like, there's no intersection of much going on there besides her interactions with Luthen. Huh?
Nothing in sight, anyways.
Well, right. You have the ISB staking out Andor's mother.
Mm-hmm.
So
Aunt Petunia.
Does she get it? And then during the escape, and after the escape, Andor figures out, his mother's dead, and that sends him back. And does he run into Mr. Ty, the stalker?
Karn,
yeah.
Yeah, the creepy stalker. I mean, he was really creepy in this episode. Well, first he was, having breakfast with his mother, and of course she's, doing her normal thing. And then the moment he says, "I got a promotion," then she's just like,
the whole tone shifts. She's like, "What are you doing for me? What's good is this for me?" Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah. I mean, the shift in her, oh God, yeah, I just wanted to punch her, and I'm sure he does too. But then he goes from that to being creepy stalker dude towards Deidre, the ISB agent or supervisor, whatever she is. I mean, he was just really creepy in that scene with her. I mean, he's like, like he's obsessed or whatever. Yeah. I meant to write down some of the stuff he said because I just thought, God, that's just cringy. I mean, not cringy writing, just him being cringy.
Being around you makes me realize there's beauty in the galaxy or something like that.
Oh yeah, I was just like, dude.
I'm just wait. Just wait. They're going to be talking next episode. He's just going to look at her and be like, "I don't like sand.
I don't like sand." Hold on. I'll find it.
Yeah, I was. Even she looked disgusted at one point. I mean, she just kind of backed away from him and kind of looked at him like.
She always looks disgusted. She always looks that way though. She's got like resting bitch face.
True, but yeah, it was a little bit more when she was talking to him because I mean, he dared to even kind of grab her by the arm, and she was like, "WTF, dude, get away from me."
Yeah, I think he's got a crush, and not to bring up any spoilers or anything, but I hear episode 10 is sponsored by FTD and Ghirardelli chocolate. So I don't know if.
Yes, but
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
There it is.
There we go.
But it's all true.
Yep. Andor, brought to you by Adam and Eve.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, so Mr. Creepy, I think he's still pushing for I think he still wants a position within the Imperial
ISB or security or something.
Even if it's hey, I just want you to start paying me and seeing me more because I'll have information for you, or I can get information for you.
Yeah, he is obsessed with catching Andor.
Yeah, that's his main focus, is trying to get into a position to where possibly he could go look for him himself, not, to catch him and redeem his name.
Yeah. And honestly, that's it's again, it's adding to the fact that Andor is like ultra rebel, even though Andor isn't really ultra rebel. Andor was basically a mercenary. He just happens to be the face of the group. He just happens to be the one that had his name out there. So
Yeah, well, with this big investigation of a pattern of rebellious activity, I mean, he came up at the forefront of it. So, absolutely.
one of the things he said was, "I wanted to thank you for my promotion. I didn't give you a promotion. Well,
I had
my
nothing to
boss
do with
seems-
it.
My boss seems to think you did.
I like when he's. I enjoyed our talk last week.
Yeah,
That was an interrogation, you creepy dude.
you butts.
What a boob.
Well, look at his mother. I mean,
Remember last week when we took that bath together? I was waterboarding you, you moron.
Oh boy.
Lordy.
It'll be interesting to see where this character goes.
Something else too I'm going to say about this. It seemed like forever. I know these episodes happen on Wednesday, and it just seemed like forever before it was Wednesday again. I was so ready for it, and I kept thinking, oh my God, it's only Monday. I still got 2 more days.
I don't know what day it is anymore. My days are just, they're blurs because of work and it's COVID, flu shots all in one. And yeah, I wake up and I have to think about what freaking day it is.
Well, tomorrow's Friday, so everything's good. It's all good.
Knock on wood. This week hasn't been good so far, so
I know what day it is by which vitamin I open up on the. Oh, it's Thursday.
Debbie, did we miss anything? Have we hashed this episode completely?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
Debbie has notes this week.
I do. I have I had to do them right before the show because I rewatched the episode.
I watched it again this afternoon. Well, I listened to it anyway. But okay, shameless plugs. Cam, shameless plug.
Since I wasn't able to make November 1st for my video, I'm gonna go back to my regular upload schedule of the 15th and 30th of every month. Because at that point, that family of 6 is coming in with us the day after tomorrow. They're gonna get all settled in. So there's not going to be any more preparing. I'm not going to have to work on, a 3-tier bunk bed for 12 hours. So it's going to free up a bit of time for me.
3 bedrooms and...
Oh yes. So this office where I'm in right now, that got painted recently. The master bedroom got painted. My daughter's bedroom got painted, which is where that bunk bed got assembled. So it's and that plus work just being balls to the wall busy because we're getting into that time of year. I've just had no time to work on my video. So again, to everybody who was looking forward to it, I deeply apologize. I'm sorry. Life has a way of shitting on me sometimes.
It will be there, and we look forward to it with bated breath. John, shameless plugs.
Just the Retro Expo this weekend. Depends on what I feel like editing. I'm all done with my Fan Expo stuff.
We did okay. So Retro Expo, that's at the Plano Convention Center.
Yes,
it's here in the Dallas area. If you live in the Dallas area and you want to come see us, come down on Saturday and Sunday. I think it's only $15 to get in.
I think at the door. I think you can get you can buy them online early for $10.
Right. So come out and see us.
And if you're gonna, I was talking to Scott the other day, and I also saw a post. Follow Retro Expo on Facebook because he's got a lot of great information. Like if you're looking for autographs, the cash machine on site runs out of cash, and all these celebs take is cash for their autographs if you haven't purchased online. So make sure you have cash, and there's going to be a ton of people there to that you are gonna you want to see.
Yeah. Anthony Daniels will be there.
Sam Witwer.
Debbie, shameless plugs.
MCU Monday. I assume we are talking Fantastic Four movies. There's a lot of MCU announcements that have been made according in regards to Vision and Agatha Harkness TV show. So there's been some casting announcements and
title changes too.
Yeah.
So speaking of announcements, this isn't an official announcement yet. It's just a rumor coming from supposedly a pretty credible source. But supposedly, Daphne Keane, who played Laura or X-23 and Logan, has been cast for the Acolyte series.
Oh, really? Okay.
Interesting.
Very nice.
So, if that's true, I'm really hoping it is, because we'll get to see more of that good old Daphne Keane rage as she beats people up however they decide to have her do.
Maybe she'll be a Sith in training. Well, an acolyte.
Okay, MCU Mondays, yes, comes up on Monday. This week, Fantastic Four. Next week should be Wakanda Forever, right?
Yes.
That comes out on the 11th.
Don't forget to talk about the 1992 Fantastic Four.
Yes, the Roger Corman classic.
And
if you've never seen
Four Stick.
If you've never seen it, then go to YouTube and look it up. It's there.
I don't know if I really want to.
Yes,
I can barely get through the first two movies. I could tolerate. It's that third movie. I still haven't finished it. So
you don't like Four Stick? That's okay. Nobody else does either.
Nobody else. Even the actors were like, "Oh God."
So make some kind of drinking game. If you do go back and watch that movie, make some kind of drinking game out of how many continuity errors you come across. Like how many times Miles Teller's beard appears and disappears between shots. How many times Susan Storm's wig is obvious in between shots.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
it's so bad.
All right. Well, that will do it for us this week. We will see you all next week, where we will be discussing. We got 3 episodes of Andor left. Just 3 episodes. We're done. So we will see you all next week. We'll discuss episode 10. Good night, good luck, and may the Force be